So I really ruined my lower back last week, and today I'm going to share with you the quick mobility drill that I introduced to fix it all back up and get me training effectively again. You'll find timestamps and a sectioned out progress bar below for your convenience, so you can skip ahead to check it out if you like. But first of all, some context to how I ruined my lower back. Over the past week, we spent about 12 hours a day, nearly every day, sitting down on the floor of the spare bedroom in my house, packing orders for the launch of my new clothing label, Ganbaru Culture. For those of you who care, this isn't activewear or necessarily gym apparel designed for training. While you can use it for that, I designed this clothing label based on style, comfort, and using premium materials for daily wear, so you can confidently wear this stuff out and about, and not just in the gym. Now, I really underestimated just how much of a response was going to be from the launch, with nearly everything selling out within 24 hours. And I also underestimated just how much packing would be involved and how much more organized I needed to be with everything related to packing. I got to say though, this is an extremely rewarding thing to be able to do. Not just to be able to create a clothing label and see my concepts and designs brought to life after several months of sampling, testing and designing them, but to go through and fulfill the orders and be actively involved in this final piece of the process of making sure that everybody gets their new pieces. I know in the future I'll have to outsource this aspect as the business grows even more, but at least for now, I've been able to experience and appreciate that side of it by having complete ownership over that particular process. Anyway, after all the long days of packing, lifting, and dragging hundreds of orders to the shipping warehouses, my lower back was completely fried. It hurt to sit, it hurt to lay down, it hurt to stand, and it would give me this weird, nervy, sort of grabby sensation at random times when I'd go to bend over to do things like tie my shoelaces. It really sucked, but I wasn't too worried about it because I knew that I hadn't done anything seriously traumatic to my back, and that it's more just the results of a lot of fatigue from being in these positions on the ground and lifting awkwardly for an extended period. But going into my most recent lower body session where I had programmed in some barbell back squats, I knew that I should probably take a little bit of extra time to do some extra work to prepare my body for that particular workout. This is where, for the first time in a very long time, I introduced some pre-workout mobility exercises for my hips and lower back to prep myself for leg day. Normally, I wouldn't do this, and instead of doing mobility exercises mindlessly pre-workout for the rest of my training career, I prefer to go to the root cause of the mobility restrictions and resolve them, if possible, through my actual training. So I don't have to rely on something like this just to feel normal. But this is a once-off occurrence due to packing, so I threw these in as a once-off drill. So here's what I did. I ran through a few rounds of Cossack squats, front foot elevated split squats, and hanging alternating single leg knee raises. I chose these movements because they take the quads, glutes, adductors, and hip flexors through all of their respective ranges of motion under some sort of loaded challenge. I started with a foot elevation on the squats to make the range of motion a little bit more accessible, and everything felt super stiff and really tight to begin with. Then, as I went on, I was able to lower that elevation completely and things felt fantastic. Then I could go on to train maximally through my leg day without any limitation at all, and now, a few days later, my hips and lower back are feeling 100%, just a couple of days after. If you want to add in something like this, my general recommendation is 4 sets of 12 reps with a short break between exercises if you need it. It shouldn't take you too long, and you should notice significant improvements in your mobility and stability after doing so. However, one point that I really want to emphasize is that while you will feel better adding in some movement like this, it's not necessarily going to address anything long term. Even though it made me feel completely better after doing it, it's still not something that I want anybody relying on long term. The only reason that I added this in and could justify it was because 99% of the time, I have fantastic mobility and can move around completely pain-free. I can go into the gym, put a bar on my back, and just start squatting. And that's about all the warm-up that I really need. If you're not in that category and feel like you need to spend a long time preparing your body to train with a variety of soft tissue release drills or mobility drills, then that's telling me that there's probably a good chance that your current training isn't appropriate for you right now with regards to intensity, technique, exercise selection, or all of the above. Just like you can design a program that is geared towards maximal strength or maximal muscle building, you can also design programs for maximizing joint health and mobility without compromising on strength and muscle building gains. It's actually very similar to the way you'd approach a strength or muscle building style workout. You wouldn't load up a 1 rep max and keep smashing away at it and hope that you got better over time. Instead, you'd meet your body where it's currently at with a load and intensity that you can both manage and recover from, and look to progress this over time. Well, improving mobility is very similar. Instead of trying to force your body into positions that it's not really ready for, meet it where it's currently at with the right load, intensity, and positions that you can access and train in, and look to progress this over time. If you want to follow a program that I've designed specifically for all of this, get the free trial to my website and app, Ganbaru Method, and check out the program Prep, which is a full 12-week program designed at improving all of these things. You'll also get access to over a dozen 12-week programs designed for different goals and levels, from beginners all the way up to advanced, and all of my educational content on nutrition, supplementation, programming, and much more. Just hit the link in the description to check it all out and get your free trial. Now, even if you weren't following the prep program that I've designed, if you took your training and focused on adding in similar exercises to what I did in my mobility warm-up, but did them with actual training loads and intensities and look to improve it over time, I guarantee you'll notice significant improvements in mobility in as little as 4 weeks. And you'll also see big improvements in your muscle mass and overall strength. Best of all, just like strength and muscle mass gains tend to stick around for a while, these mobility gains will stick around for a long time as well. And you'll become more resilient and athletic whilst being less reliant on being stuck in this mobility cycle of doing mobility drills pre-workout for the rest of your life. Alright, that's it for now, guys. Hope you found this video helpful. If you have any other questions, drop them below and I'll see you all next time.